So the Red Wings finally back in action. They've got the Ottawa Senators on the road tonight. Of course, NHL action resuming last night for the first time since February 5th, first time in 20 days, coming out of the Olympic break, which really cool moment, by the way, with New Jersey Devils taking on the Buffalo Sabres last night, and they actually had Jack Hughes actually grab the microphone and have some words for the crowd before the game, which was very special. Of course, Jack Hughes, the golden goal, the winning goal for the U.S. Hockey men's gold medal run, which is going to be a moment that we talk about for a long time in hockey circles. So that was really cool to see. And he actually brought out from the Sabres, Tage Thompson out on the ice while he was doing that as well, his teammate there on Team USA. So very special moment there. And the Red Wings, they had 3 players in the Olympics. Of course, Dylan Larkin playing a big role in helping the team bring home the gold medal. Specifically had a big game in both the quarterfinal and semifinal games. So Dylan Larkin, I believe the first home game out of this break for the Red Wings, which is next week. I think they actually plan on honoring Dylan Larkin and the rest of the Olympians for the Red Wings on the team. That's going to be next week, but that's going to be definitely cool. But then you also have Lucas Raymond, who really stepped for the Swedes, who the U.S. took down there in the quarterfinals, I believe. And then of course, Mo Seider, who is known for his time on ice. He plays a lot. I mean, he's a defenseman. He's a great defenseman at that. One of the best in the NHL. In the conversation for the Norris Trophy this year, but he actually played even more average time on ice in the Olympics than he does during the Red Wings. Played a lot, but pretty solid for the Germans. So I think the Red Wings getting some pretty good action there from the 3 Red Wings that were in the Olympics. Of course, none better than Dylan Larkin helping the U.S. men bring home the gold. So the Red Wings, it's been a minute since they've been on the ice. They last played 3 Wednesdays ago, February 4th, that loss 4-1 on the road to the Utah Mammoth. And, of course, that came right after that big win on the road 2-0 over the Colorado Avalanche. And the Red Wings did kind of stumble a little bit going into the Olympic break, mostly in part due to the injury to Simon Edvinsson, who missed those last several games going into the Olympic break with a lower body injury. And you could tell that really messed things up, especially on the defensive side of the puck. You know, Coach Todd McClellan pairing up Mo Seider with a couple of different guys back there. But yeah, Simon Edvinsson, it looks like, I mean, I'm looking at the injury report right now, it looks like he should still be out. Last I heard, late January, he was going to be shut down through the Olympics, and obviously we're done with the Olympics. But as of right now, it looks like he's still on the injury reserve, unfortunately. So I don't see any updates on when he should be back. So we'll see. But John Gibson in net for the Red Wings tonight, who's been having a phenomenal season. I've said that time and time again. John Gibson has been spectacular this year for the Red Wings. And he'll be getting the start with Linus Ullmark in net for the Ottawa Senators. I know he missed a good chunk of action, about a month there from the end of December through early January. He dealt with some personal issues. But he's going to be in net for the Ottawa Senators. And that Sabres-Devils game I was talking about earlier, yeah, that actually had big implications on the standings for the Red Wings, as the Sabres, we've We talked about how the Red Wings have been hot since the start of December. Well, guess what? The Sabres have been as well. And they've officially caught up to the Red Wings in the standings. Identical 33, 19, and 6 records. And that pulls the Red Wings, Sabres, and Canadiens into a 3-way tie in the standings for the Atlantic Division. Tampa in first with 80 points. Then you got the Canadiens, Sabres, and Red Wings tied. You got the Bruins shortly behind with 69 points. But the Sabres get the tiebreaker over the Red Wings because the Sabres have won both their matchups against the Red Wings on the season. And then the Canadiens have the tiebreaker over both because they have one less game played for their 72 points. So it's caught up for the Red Wings, unfortunately, a little bit with, kind of going into the Olympic break, stumbling a little bit, and in the meantime, some of these other teams getting hot. So the Red Wings have, if you look at the extended wild card standings, they've actually been booted from the top 3. It's been a minute since they've been out of the top 3. So they drop into the wild card, the first wild card spot. Then you got the Bruins behind them in the second wild card spot. And then out of the playoffs is the Washington Capitals, who got a win last night, their first game out of the Olympic break. So the difference between the Red Wings and the Capitals, first team out of the playoffs, is only 5 points. So it's gotten pretty close. I'm still pretty comfortable with the Red Wings at this point. They, even with the injury to Simon Evanson, hopefully he comes back soon, But, the Red Wings, they definitely just feel a lot better, have a lot more chemistry this season than they have the last several years, especially last year. So I'm confident in their abilities to finish strong and finally end this playoff drought. And we'll see. This team looks like it's going to be active at the trade deadline, which is coming up next week, in the market for a second-line center and a second-line defenseman. And there's a lot of guys out there available from some of these teams that are struggling. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But Red Wings got to start strong. Got to get this win against a division rival. So Red Wings and Senators tonight. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. We have live coverage on our station, as always, WKHM Jackson's News Talk 970 AM and 101.5 FM.
If you missed today's installment of On the Docket, podcast it at foxsports1019.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to tune in live weekdays at noon on Jackson's Fox Sports 101.9 FM.